I've been playing WINDSWEPT, which is the Donkey Kong Country, but instead of donkey, it's a duck, and instead of
Country.
Kong, instead of Kong, it's duck. I mean a turtle.
Double duck.
Double duck. Marbles and checkers.
That's right.
Are the duck and turtle combo
so
in this
cute.
buddy platformer, which is very clearly an homage to the Donkey Kong Country series from the SNES. And it is by the Australian developer Weatherfell, and we spoke to Jace on the show earlier in the year, you may remember. But I grew up on the SNES, and the Donkey Kong Country games in particular were games that I went back to a lot. And I think that there's an understanding of them being classics for the side-scrolling genre, in how frequently they try to bring Donkey Kong Country back into the limelight. They've done reasonably well with games like Tropical Freeze, but with an updated kind of 2.5D feel, and I really enjoyed those games. But this is leaning heavily on the nostalgia, and it is effectively a new Donkey Kong Country 2D side-scroller for the modern age. And one of the things that I maybe don't like about it is that it comes in assuming you've played at least 3 Donkey Kong Country games before. So it kind of starts at quite a difficult, a higher level of difficulty than you might expect. It's not the kind of game that you could like give to your kid and be like, now you can learn how to play a 2D side-scrolling platformer like I did when I was a kid. This is for millennials.
You have to pay taxes,
which
to
is
be
not
able
a
to play
negative
this
thing.
game.
Yeah, totally. You have to be paying your taxes.
Yeah.
It's also
a
there.
nice thing for me, but I also think it's maybe a bit of a disappointment for the game to not have a nice ramp into complexity and starts quite complex.
And part of that is that the aesthetic, and this is this cutesy game, both by like its graphic style and its characters. Like, I'm not trying to say that makes it a kids game, but it definitely gives you the vibe that it's going to be a little more handholdy just through its visual like aesthetic. That's what I assumed when I first played
Sure,
it.
yeah.
And I was like, I'm with you. I was like, these tutorials were like, here's 4 to 5 mechanics and abilities that you need to combo these characters with that you are going to learn in the first level. And I was like, this is way more than I expected. So it's well within its right to be a difficult game. It just feels like it doesn't look like that's what it would be from the start.
Yeah, I just think it would benefit from having a more of an arc up into its difficulty. And it can be faster than the Donkey Kong Country games did it, but it starts with a lot of assumed gameplay skill and knowledge, and that's a little bit disappointing, I think, for people who would be jumping in to play a 2D platform for the first time. But for me, I played a lot of these things. Sure. That's cool. I jump in and I'm like, all right, this is not just going to be a cakewalk for the first 4 hours. It's going to be interesting to play.
Yeah.
And part of that as well is in like the world collectibles as you kind of move through the world map like this. You jump into a game that is a level that is like designed around this stage, and you collect things as you go through. You spend the tokens that you collect on the way to unlock more, like higher challenge levels. It's all the same formula as Donkey Kong Country,
and the little trophies as well.
and you get little trophies as well. The game feel to me is really good. It does feel exactly how you would expect it to for a Donkey Kong Country fan. And the new mechanics are more complicated than anything I think that is in any of the Donkey Kong Country games. Throwing the turtle, jumping on its shell as
I was
it's
going to
upside
ask, is
down.
that the thing you're talking about mainly with the difficulty level here?
No, I think even just this kind of platforming in stage 1, jumping off the back of enemies to double jump up to collect things, didn't really happen until World 3 or 4 in Donkey Kong Country, right? Like, this kind of challenge. If the first level of Donkey Kong Country 2, you're on a boat and you can't fall off it. Whereas, like, you can die by falling off the map pretty much immediately in this game. There's brambles, there's lots of enemies, there's different types of enemies. So it doesn't slowly introduce you to the challenges that you'll be facing. It just lays them all on right from the start and themes them to a world. And that's fine. But yeah, that's more what I'm talking about is like the worlds themselves are difficult. And yes, you've got more mechanics to deal with.
It's
right
a real
at the
heavy
start.
like combo game. I found when playing with Josh.
For
It's
sure.
like and like almost constantly reminding you, use this combo. Hey, just remember, use this combo. Oh, you see that thing's up here, and you can't get to it with a normal jump or a double jump. Use the combo.
I'll say though that while those things actually can be complicated to execute, the visual language of the world design is very clear.
Totally.
You know exactly which move you need to do and
Yeah.
when you need to do it, but the execution of that is quite tricky. So it kind of feels like it plays into the people that speedrun
I was gonna
Mario
say, it looks like
and
it's built
stuff.
around the hacks.
Yeah.
Like they went, what's the hardest way to play a video game?
Yeah.
And then that's the only way you can play this game. Like in a cool
Kinda
way.
In a cool
rocks,
way,
yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
you get this in the same way you did in Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah.
And sorry to keep harping on about it just is very. It's a clone of Donkey Kong Country, by someone who clearly loves those games.
Yeah.
The speed boost that you get as you kill an enemy to get an escalation
that
off a
nut.
jump.
Yeah.
Like we're going to be seeing people play through this game in crazy ways.
Yeah.
The amount of hot fixes I've seen in the last couple of weeks for this game, the patch notes are always mentioning how speedrunners have broke something else.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Would you say though, like some of that difficulty, or at least I know when I played it, came from the fact that yes, there's similarities here to the Donkey Kong Country series, but from my memory, and you might feel differently about this, like the characters in the Donkey Kong Country games were kind of like soft variants of each other. Like one could hover and one could cartwheel, but they weren't completely different abilities. These characters from memory are like quite distinctly different. But it's not quite the ukulele banjo kazooie thing where it's like they totally are different.
I think like maybe Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong played pretty similarly in Donkey Kong Country 1, but Donkey Kong Country 2, Dixie and Diddy I think are different enough, and definitely, Dixie and Baby Kong or Kitty Kong are very, very different. That's like Baby Kong or Kitty Kong was heavy and you couldn't walk fast when you had him on your back, that kind of thing, that's kind of what it's leaning into. It's like the hard shell of the turtle is the skill of the turtle and spinning inside its shell where it's protected.
But they're going to
you can throw that onto brambles and then jump off it on brambles. That kind of like it's additive to the platforming in a way that Donkey Kong Country.
But
maybe
there are
wasn't.
sections of this game where you need to be using one or the other in the right combo to do it, I would assume, right?
You can play. I've not experienced anything that you couldn't. There's definitely like you couldn't collect that coin if you didn't have both of them.
Okay.
But like the Donkey Kong Country games, you can finish the
can
game
do-
if you've taken a hit and lost one of the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's just, not as the point of this game is to kind of get into a flow of platforming, and it's easier to do when you have both characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't encountered that yet.
You, in theory, could run the whole level as one or the other without
Correct,
another
yeah.
one.
Without throwing someone on your shoulders
Yep.
as well.
Yeah, gotcha.
But I'm interested to hear how. Look, I'll also point out I've only used the chameleon as a buddy, animal buddy, and
There are quite a few of them.
there's heaps.
Yeah.
But it already is starting off. I think it starts off on a bit of a weak point next to like how Donkey Kong Country characters, and it's not even just like it's not really from a mechanics perspective. I think the mechanic of it is cute, but doesn't feel that good compared to how good it feels to platform in the game.
Right.
But like the designs of those Donkey Kong characters, like the ensemble of the rhino,
Rambi.
Rambi, the swordfish, the parrot.
Swordfish was like on guard.
Yeah, the spider.
Oh, I don't remember spiders from 2. I'm always
Yep.
thinking 1. But yeah, they all had like cute little names. And they were very. Yeah.
You get the
Snake.
chameleon to paint,
I didn't get the chameleon.
then you
paint.
are missing out. Because
Sure,
that
but
is exactly
Why that character's designed that way.
like the
or-
character is designed that way because there's literally a button where the chameleon will paint like a series of different paintings of you three, and it's really charming.
Sure, I just don't think the design of it, like it doesn't. It's not cute. Like it's way simpler than.
Isn't it wearing a beret?
Yeah, it just doesn't have any it doesn't have any character when it gets hit. Like, Rambi goes, ow, and then runs off the screen kind of thing, I think it's just missing a bit of that. But
I get what you're
that's all
saying.
it
It's
does.
like, and it's also that these two characters and everything about it is designed well, and that feels like just a bit
It feels a
more
little
of
undercooked.
Yeah, and it was a bit of, was this needed, or was that just homaging a Donkey Kong Country game to have rideable animal companions? But fair enough. But Ruby thinks it's cute.
But you guys played co-op and
We
you,
did.
you played one character each. I'm interested to hear how that works.
I played the duck, and Josh played the turtle.
Yep, they have names. I've forgotten them, but I
yeah.
thought you might not.
Uh,
Pebbles and-
Waddles
Bam Bam.
and Popper.
You wrote it
It's
down.
marbles and checkers.
I wrote-
Marbles
and
and
checkers.
checkers.
I wrote it down, but yeah, it doesn't feel important.
Marbles and checkers. It's heaps of fun co-op. It's a sort of weird thing where it's like understandable because like when you're playing one player, if one of you dies, you're just playing as the other one. In co-op, if one of you dies, you kind of just have to sit there and wait until you can play again. But at the same time, like, fair enough. Guess I died. That's my B.
Yeah.
But would you say it's probably more difficult, like, because you're trying to keep each other, like, there's control with a single player running both characters versus two player, trying to do timings.
And any of the combos.
Any of the combos become
only,
one player.
only one person is
Yeah.
in control.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's
I
clever.
assume the person who's on the ground, not on the back.
So like I could choose to pick up Ruby, or Ruby could choose to pick up me, and then once we've been picked up, it's in whoever's picked up this
Gotcha.
control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I feel like that's true of co-op in Donkey Kong Country.
It's funny. It feels like a game that most of the time you'd be like, but in co-op it's a lot easier, a lot more fun. Whereas I'd be curious here to see if I think it might.
I don't
be.
know if it would be easier. It definitely requires more coordination.
Well,
but
I'm
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
here it would be far more difficult in co-op.
Yeah,
Which is it's still fun that it's there, but it does seem like it's a single player game with that as an added feature, but it's not built around the co-op.
It's still hugely enjoyable though.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah. Very cute.
Yeah.